trees, your yellow leaves move me. Dancing moves your painted red shakes the room. When I get there, I'll let my feet roll. When I get there, I'll break in your arms, I'll lose control. When I get there, I'll know the answer. Let me know when I get closer.
Hey everybody, this is Overpass Live. I'm Eric. I make apps. This is our Monday afternoon podcast, Monday evening podcast for me, or morning for wherever you are in the world. This is our, once a week we get together and we have no topic, we have no guest, we have no plan. We just sit and we just shoot the bull. We shoot the bull. I never know whether or not I should swear on the channel, but we just talk. We just talk about apps or business or whatever, and we just catch up. But we've been doing this every week for 3 or 4 years, I guess. Maybe, 3 or 4 years. We used to do it on Fridays. Now we do it on Mondays, and it's just a live stream, right? A lot of times over the years, people have said, you should have a theme. You should have a guest. Every time I try to do guests, it was just so... we weren't able to follow the thread of whatever we happen to be talking about. So what's been going on this week? Well, we had that big Apple announcement last week, which I thought was kind of new AirPods, whatever, or new MacBook Pro with whatever. I was not all that impressed with it. I don't know if you guys were impressed with that, with the Mac presentation. Sorry, the Apple presentation last Monday. But we have these from time to time, right? And I've been working like crazy the last few weeks. I'm in that situation now where it seems like all the projects I'm working on at the moment, I'm really enjoying. Like where I'm like, you know what it's like when you just when you're thinking about the project when you're out, you think, and it's some of it either Xamarin or Flutter. So there's the two of them where I'm thinking, I should have put that into a view model, use a command procedure rather than a code behind click or whatever like that. You start thinking about this kind of stuff and you can't wait to get back to it. And it's like, so you have meetings or whatever. And so you're kind of irritable with the rest of your life because you're just like, you're focused on the code. I'm having that kind of week, which is great. It's like whenever you get that kind of momentum that you could go on something like that, it's amazing. Oh, first of all, can you guys hear me okay? Let's make sure we do sound check. Whenever you have that kind of thing, it's just amazing, right? So that's been a lot of fun, and also I've been working out like crazy. You'd think I was a professional athlete. How often I've been working out? We was going to the gym every day last week in the morning, and then going to the boxing classes at night, and just sort of like really just crash every night, going to bed and just crashing, like just oh my god, I'm so exhausted, right? But then also and through the day, just sitting here and doing the code and everything like that. So. Been a good week. Been a really good week. I hope you guys had a great week too. So let's see who's here. If anybody has anybody showed up. By the way, it was a bit of a mad dash, right? For some reason, I couldn't find the camera. And you go, okay, good. I'm glad you guys hear me. Cool. I couldn't find the camera, dude. I was like, look around. Like, how can I lose the camera? But it's just me being like disorganized to the last minute. Kevin Hawthorne. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? Let me just make this a bit bigger. Kevin's here. MD is here. Hey Eric, how do you get your apps ready for the holidays? I used to get it like where I do the Christmas icon, everything like that. I just don't do that anymore. I don't know if it really made that big a difference. Like, it had the same thing to do with sales. Like whenever I would have like, I know what I'll do. I'll put my app on sale for like, a week, like an exclusive, the app's on sale, right? So I'll have like on sale this week or whatever. And I found it didn't really make a difference because like when people would come across the App Store listing, it wasn't like they walked in front of a shop and they were pricing this thing out. Like they didn't stumble upon it and seeing a sign that says, hey, it's on sale, right? What they were seeing was, they would see whatever price was there when they got there that day. They don't know if it's higher than normal or lower than normal. And that's probably because I didn't do it for in-app purchases. In-app purchases are different, I think, because you do have that people coming into the application and they're constantly looking at it. So if you did have something on sale, yeah, that would make sense. But I think the same thing about the Christmas stuff. Like if I had better retention on my apps, then the Christmas stuff would make more sense, right? Because if I had like a Christmassy icon, the people would just download the app and they get rid of it like 3 days later. They just think that's the normal icon, right? They don't know. So it's like, if it was like, if I had, one of the things we talk about this a lot with my apps, especially, I had very low retention. Like I had high download numbers, but the retention was like, some people would keep it for a long time, but like when you saw people actually coming into the app, it wasn't that much. So I don't do very much. In fact, I don't do anything at all anymore, but I used to in the early days, like, hey, let's have a Christmas icon. Let's do this. Let's, release something new. And I just don't do anything like that now. Because, well, actually, when it comes to the icon, I suppose it would help because, people are looking at anything you could do to draw the eyes of the user who's already installed your app and hasn't opened it up in ages. Anything you could do to have them go, oh, what's this? Then that might be a good thing. But is anybody else doing that? Theo Taylor is in the house. Hey, how's it going? Let's see. MD says, do you change icons? Yeah, like I said, it's I don't. I did. I used to, but I don't anymore. Because it was just a lot of hassle to do, to re-release an application to change the icon for a short amount of times and hope that everybody did upgrade it, and then hope that when I go back to the original one that everybody does the upgrade. Although most people I think do automatic upgrades now. Let's see. Theo says those new MacBook Pros fire. Okay, to be honest with you, I didn't even look at them. I was like, I'm happy with my MacBook. Well, I've got the iMac, the big, giant 72 gigabytes of RAM in this iMac, and I'm like, I love working on this thing, but there's still those. I used to always say this is like, nobody could be lazier than a programmer. Because have you ever been so lazy you didn't want to drag something from one end of the screen to another? You're like, oh, jeez, right? Or like somebody says, hey, can you send me that attachment? You're like, oh, man, I don't want to go dig through all those emails to try to find it. I don't want to figure out what search term to put in there. I mean, that is a new class of lazy, right? So I have the same thing because I got my desktop computer over here at the desk, and sometimes I just sit over there on the couch, right, with my laptop. And if I have something over here, I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered to go sit over there at the desk, right? We're talking about 3 steps, right? That's, okay. Earlier, a few minutes ago when I said I have been working out like crazy, I probably compensate for the laziness that occupies the rest of my life in that way. It's not like we're like ditch diggers or something like that where we're like back-breaking work. I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered to, oh, man, you know what? I don't have to, if I have to click on that thing 4 times to dig down into that folder, I can't be bothered. So, let's see. Kevin, here he's cool. Thanks. Mr. Noob is here. Hey, Mr. Noob. Let's see. And DJ Snoopy Zat, the poet. Hey, Eric, how are you? I'm good, DJ Snoopy Zat. You got the coolest name. God, I should change my name. It's too late. There's certain things where I thought about doing, like, could I like stop saying I'm Eric and I make apps? Like, what if I stop making apps? Then what would I say? Just like, hey, this is Overpass Insights. My name is Eric. It would just feel weird. So, but let's see. And then John Reed says, is it just me or is it the NHS COVID passport app been badly managed? Sure, you could have done a better job. BBC News COVID in Scotland vaccine passport app launch hit by problems. Dude, yeah, there's like the 2 apps. There's the we got the NHS app, and I know you can get the COVID on there. Is there a third app? Because I know we had the track and trace one, which a lot of people, like when it started pinging people, a lot of people just uninstalled it. But it was like anonymous, right? So you could, like, when you had to, do the QR code when you go into pubs and stuff. And then we had the NHS app where you could have the passport thing in it. And is there like a dedicated passport one? It's weird. Like, I think I haven't seen what's been happening in Scotland, but I know that for me, it's, if you're going someplace, to rely on your phone to have the right battery and internet there, like if I look on the NHS app, like I have to go in and say, okay, get my COVID stats, and then it takes a few seconds to render. Like, it's a very slow process. So I'd rather just have like a card or something printed out, like just you know. But yeah, whenever so. I don't know very much about the NHS COVID app, but I do know that like a lot of government applications and these big companies, which you would think that were like huge, like you would think that they would have these like the highest tech, they're still just going for the lowest bidder. I know because we like there was a time at the beginning of all the COVID stuff where we were like, okay, we did quote on a few projects, and it was like they're definitely they put these the RFPs out, the request for proposals out, and they just they get the proposals from different people and they go with the lowest bidder. Well, not necessarily, but yeah, I'm sure it sways on them a lot. And and then they have problems like like they have problems just like my clients have problems when they come to me with stuff saying, oh, we went to another development company and they didn't know what they're doing, all this stuff. That's just like there's a lot of really bad developers out there, and if you don't know what you're looking for, you're gonna find them. So I think it's probably these like organizations that have internal development teams and then they hire people are better off because then they have like they could vet these people a little bit better. When I was working in investment banks, I was surprised at some of the industry standard stuff that was out there that was built on Microsoft Access. And this was like in 2006, where there was this God, I can't remember what the name of the organization was, but it was like this big government, like it was a regulatory office. I can't remember what it was. And basically they had this application, which was, when I was looking at it, it was a Microsoft Access database, right? It was a front end was Microsoft Access, and it was like, I think it may have had some backend server, or actually, I don't think it had, I think it was just an ODBC connection to like another Access database. But they were like, that was their thing. That's what they put out there. And it was just a really badly written piece of junk. But it was like, because they were this big thing, it was like the name of the company was like better than that. So like, if you were to ask me if the NHS came out with an application, do I think it would be the best app in the world? I'd be like, I doubt it. Like I would have, like the same as I wouldn't have expected, DVLA or DVSA or whatever, whatever the driver's license people, DMV. I wouldn't expect the DMV to like have like a really good application. I would expect them to have something that was like went through a good, even if they had a really good developer, they probably went through a gazillion layers of bureaucracy to get to the final product. Like, whenever as a developer, if you're like, you go in there, you're like, I want to have the best. Or not even as a developer, as a product owner or whatever, you want to have the best user experience possible. And then the legal people come in and start saying, okay, well, we don't want to make it too easy to do that. We don't want to do this. Okay, before we get to that bit, we need them to agree to additional terms, or we need to go to that, and we need to make it absolutely, whatever. If I don't know if you guys have ever had this where you have like somebody say, okay, so they're going to delete this thing, which is kind of a serious thing. I'd prefer not to have a delete button in there, but you insist. And I once had somebody say, okay, could you just have like two pop-ups, one saying, are you sure you want to delete this? And then another one saying, are you really sure you want to delete this? And I thought, you're crazy. Like, it was just like, why do we have, if we don't want them to delete it, let's not give them the option, or let's do something else. Like, so I'm not that surprised that it's a bad app. I haven't heard a lot of the stuff about it. I don't even think I've used it. I haven't been to any place. I haven't been to any clubs or anything yet because I've been working on this app. Theo Taylor says the new screens, the SD card slot, the MagSafe charger. I almost trip over my charger at least twice per week. Oh, they're bringing back the MagSafe charger? Let's see. Mr. Noob says Flutter Apprentice book by Ray Wenderlich. Oh, he's good. Is now available for free. I think you can make. Do you think you can make it? It can make me a Flutter Pro? Oh, let's have a look. Ray Wenderlich. He's got like lots. I'm just gonna say he's got like a lot of content out there. It is Flutter related, isn't it? I'm trying to think what like he's like a big name. Let's see. Let's have a look at this book. Why not? Ooh, I've done some messing around with my interface here. Let's see. Wait. Oh, thanks everybody for the thumbs up, by the way. Let's see. Ray Winderlich. I can't remember his name. Ray Winderlich. Flutter Apprentice. I don't think, we talked about this a little bit. I don't think any books is going to make you a pro on anything, Mr. New, but, it's definitely a good place to start. Like, I would trust somebody who's read cover to cover a book on a technology more than I would somebody who just went out and just started Googling stuff. Unless they Googled like the Flutter documentation from end to end, because nice thing about putting things in a course-like structure is that you can, you don't leave out things like error handling or whatever. That's like a lot of new developers do. So let's see. So this is read for free with an ultimate beginner subscription, or buy individually $59.99. Am I looking at the wrong thing here? So beginner subscription. Yeah, this looks so. This doesn't look free to me, unless you already have this other stuff. But I know that like when it comes to the, so many times I've been Googling stuff on Flutter and I come back, come to Ray Winderlich stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Joe says, Eric, you missed my app ads question. Did I? Joe, did I? I'm not seeing it. Can you ask it again, Joe? Sometimes, like I don't know if YouTube, if you put a link in it, YouTube will block it and I don't see it. So you have to like, if you put a link or something like that, a lot of times YouTube will strip something out. So I try to go question by question. I don't, like I said, we don't have that many viewers like that come in and like flooded with questions. I have to be like, doing whatever the super chat or anything like that. We're pretty, we're just chilling, hanging out. So if you ask it again, asking it again would be better than asking me to scroll back up and look at it for it. But there's not that many questions here. So so the MagSafe is back. So all right, well that's cool. I mean, okay. So the one thing about the MagSafe stuff, where is it? The thing about the MagSafe is like I hated the fact that I had to get one USB-C would be nice if I don't have to have different chargers for everything. Like if I, we've all done this thing where if you go to work and you bring a laptop with you to work, where you forget your charger at home, right? And it sucks, right? Especially if you got like your laptop's a bit old, you got like an hour, like a half an hour of battery life on it, and you've spent an hour driving into work, and you're like, ugh! I've done this where I had to drive around. Like it was cheaper for me to drive to like a local PC World than it was for me to drive back home and get my charger for my Mac with the MagSafe. Even though it was like, I think it was about 40 pounds or something on it. It was just cheaper, to miss any more work or whatever, So I like the idea of just having something where you say, if you have a USB-C, cable or whatever, and it'll work. And I've never tried it with usually when I use my MacBook Air, I use that one. But I do take what you mean about the tripping over it and the safety of that kind of stuff. So, okay, here we go. Joe says, Eric, do you know how to implement app ads.txt for multiple apps using one domain? Do you just create the folders, one for each app in the root directory? Well, you don't do it. You only use one domain, right? So you don't do it for each individual application. You do it for the one account. Let me see if I could find that screen real quick, just so I could show you. I'm not going to show my screen just yet. I'm going to move it off screen so that you guys can't see my AdMob stuff, because they're weird about that stuff. But let's see. So when I set it up, that's what I did. I didn't set up like a different domain for each app. That'd be crazy. I had hundreds of apps at the time. Let's see. Payments are on hold. Ugh. I got, yeah. I don't know if you guys do all this stuff with the seems like everything is getting more to, they need more tax information. They need more, like Apple needs more tax information. Amazon needs more tax information. Now, like Google needs more tax information, which is easy. Like it's easy if you're like not, a foreigner living in a foreign place, running a company in a different language or a different place. So they're always like, are you a U.S. citizen? Yes. Is your company a U.S. company? No. And then it gets all. This is why I've kind of been putting it off. I guess I need to do that stuff. So let's see. How do we do app ads.txt? Apps. App settings. Campaigns. We do it under. Is it policies and medicine? Policy center. I'm gonna have to look for this later, but yeah, it should just be in the one place, and it really is a simple thing of they'll even tell you what the app ads.txt is, and you just have to upload it. All right, we'll have to look at that one a bit later. Let's see, Theo Taylor, so you can still charge with Type-C in that case. Oh, can you? Can you do it like even with the MagSafe? You can still use the USB-C. That would be cool, actually. Do you have any Apple app bundles set up with Revenue Cat? Not sure if they support it, but I sent them an email about it this morning. No. You're talking about app bundles, like being able to buy a subscription for like more than one app at a time? Is that what you mean? I've never done any. I haven't done that. With Revenue Cat, I've just done the typical. I think I've only just had one subscription set up in it. So like, I was gonna do like an annual and all this kind of stuff, and I just did the monthly one. But no, I haven't set all that stuff up. It's been pretty much just that one thing. So, so yeah, no, not really. Let's see what else has been happening this week. Yeah, mostly my life has gotten boring. I've been thinking in code, right? Have you ever done it? I've gotten to the point where it's been a while since I've done this, and you guys are probably like, for those guys who are probably more into this, when you dream about code, and you're not dreaming about like you're sitting there writing code or whatever. You just like the project that you went to bed thinking about, like you're thinking about all that kind of stuff, and everything's kind of like, you start thinking like, I don't know, you start thinking about like dependency injection and stuff like that. Nothing's logical because it's a dream, but you start to dream about the project you're working on and the code and everything like that or whatever. Or I remember like sometimes I'll have dreams where like it's the client, like, all of a sudden they're like, they're coming up with some new requirements or something like that, and all the code, like it's just like, and you start thinking like, you have these really bizarre dreams about stuff that you can't tell anybody about because they would not understand what you're talking about. It's like, okay, so like I was writing this module, right? And I was like, I found that, okay, if I could just do this, and then this component over here interacts with it, right? But then it starts spitting out all these other components, and then it starts doing all this stuff, and then I'm like in the middle of it, and I'm like trying to figure out all this stuff, and it's like just these weird dreams about code. So I mean, have any of you guys ever done that? You guys ever have dreams about code? And if so, like, isn't it weird? I remember once when I was first starting to learn was XML. I mean, it was like XML. XML was like a buzzword for like a while, and then until it was like, dude, it's just a file format. But like, it was like, dude, you gotta check out XML. It's awesome. Like for a while, that was like back in like 2001 or something like that. Everybody was talking about like how XML was going to change everything. I guess now it would be JSON, but it's like, in retrospect, it's so silly to think about it that we were talking about it. I was like, I have to learn XML. I mean, my dad had once said that to me. I need to learn XML. I was like, there's nothing to learn. Like, there's just nothing to learn with XML. It's not a language. It's just it's a markup language. It's like, so, but I remember like having dreams about it, and my one of my kids was just a baby, and he was like in a crib in the room, and he kept crying And I was, my dream was like he was like the best XML coder ever, and I was like thinking he only knows how to say one word, which is banana. Like, and I was thinking he's like the best XML coder in the world. And I had this weird, feverish coding dream about that. But, well, hey, I think we're gonna have like a short. I think we're gonna have a short live stream tonight. Excellent. I guess we have no other questions. Hey, I want to say thanks to everybody who's joined. I mean, it's going to be a really, really quick one tonight because, like I said, maybe I should come up with what I said at the beginning was we don't have a theme, we don't have a guest, we don't have a topic. Maybe I should have all those kind of stuff, but sometimes it's just nice just to hang out with you guys and that one time in the week. Because like today, good example. I think probably at the beginning of this, like it's 6 p.m. No, it's 5 p.m. when I started. That may have been the first words I said all day. Like, hey, how about that, huh? That's the kind of life I live at the moment. So it's great when we can do these live streams with you guys. Anyway, so we're going to wrap it up here then. 30 minutes. We're getting and Carol VDW is here. Hey, how's it going? So we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for joining. We'll do it again next week, probably. I'm going to Blackpool this week. I'm going to go to Blackpool. I'm going to go on some of the rides in Blackpool, which I've never been to. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, guys, hope you guys have a great week. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll talk to you again next time.